Hi, Kate.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the FearFans podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy. With me is Joe and Kate.
Hi, everyone. How are you guys?
Today we're covering something that many of people love asking me about, and it's a very recent vampire movie, something that I did reactions videos for on the trailers, and it's Abigail. And I gotta say, this movie is just as unique as the trailers portrayed it to be.
Yep, definitely. I just have to say, Don, have you had a haircut?
Yes, I have.
It looks really great.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
it's true. So I have to say, I haven't seen the film, but I've seen lots of clips. I've read about it. I have yet to see it. I'm really excited. I really like the twist because you think they've kidnapped this girl. It's not nice. It's a horrible thing. But then that kind of twist where it's like, oh, damn. Like, she's a vampire.
It's got a couple of twists.
It's got quite a few twists to it, yes.
No way. Okay. I'm okay with spoilers.
Yep. Okay with spoilers? Okay, because there's plenty of them. Okay. So, yeah, the whole idea of this film is that there's a group of criminals, and it feels like, Reservoir Dogs at first, because they're like, each one of them has like an alias, a different name, like nobody knows who each other is. Like that's part of the plot. If like
Here's your real name.
One of them gets caught, they don't know who's who. And it's actually and they gave each one of the criminals a name from what's called an entertainment group called the Rat Pack. And let's like one character is named Joey, which I'm guessing is short for Joey Bishop. And let's see, Dean, like Dean Martin, Sammy, like Sammy Davis Jr. Oh yeah, Frank, like Frank Sinatra. Yeah, Peter Lawford, Don Rickles. Yeah, so I thought that was a pretty unique. That was pretty cool how they just had that. Oh, hello, Tom. Good to see you. Hey, Thomas. So we got two Toms here. Oh, and here's Chris.
Hi,
hey, Chris.
I don't know. There we go. Maybe.
How's it going?
Good. I've been having technical issues with these for like an hour.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. So yeah, tonight we're covering like a pretty unique. This actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would. Abigail, like it had a unique premise from like the trailers, like where these criminals are holding like a 12-year-old girl for like a ransom, who is like the daughter of an underworld crime boss, and only discovered that she's not a 12-year-old girl like she appears to be. She's actually a 400-year-old vampire.
Yeah, I definitely have to watch this. Can I just ask, is anybody having delay issues? So Don is talking, but you see him talking. Like, is there a delay with anybody, or is it just me?
I'm not sure. I don't, is everybody seeing and hearing me clearly?
I do, yeah. You might be a little bit odd, but nothing horrible. Not like a Kung Fu or anything.
I don't have any lag issues here with that. It's not happening.
No lagging. Okay.
Well, that's kind of hard when you got like a supercomputer sitting here.
Yeah.
I've got all the power. I got more power than I need to run this.
No issues. Gotcha. Okay, that's good. Okay, if it continues, I might have to exit, and I might do that now.
I loved.
I'm gonna come back in.
Oh, okay.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, we'll wait for you to come back in. Oh wait, here's Jeremy. I think he's about to join.
That movie was a little slow to start for me, though.
Yeah, it kind of did have a slow start.
A little slow for me to start. I was like almost ready to call it quits for a minute, and then the two were in there. The one gal that from the criminal team was in there because she's the only one that should be talking to her, right? And then she's like, she like makes that like kind of taunt.
Yeah.
Like, here I am all chained up.
Yeah.
But I'm going to kill you or you're not going to make it. That kind of taunt thing. And that's when it's like, okay, this is about to get interesting soon.
That was me too. I was like, I'm going to turn this show off. God, I'm sorry I bought it. And then bang. And I was like, oh my God, I'm hooked.
But But other
Yeah.
than that, that movie is one hell of a good vampire movie. I'll put it up there in the top 5.
Oh yeah, when the action starts, that's when things really get crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here Kate said that she'll be back in 2 minutes. So but yeah, like they had some.
Is that Nick 2 minutes or a real 2 minutes?
No, with Kate, it's just with everybody else's time. It's 2 minutes means 2 minutes. With Nick, it's like 20 minutes.
Right. I know.
Yeah, or longer, depending on But yeah, so Abigail had a real good cast with this. Like it had Melissa Barrera who played Joey, but she was really making a name for herself in the horror industry after playing Sam in the Scream movies.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, a role that I wish that she'd be allowed to continue. She was amazing.
And then I recognized him right away. The one guy, I can't remember what his character's name is, but he's played in some of the X-Men movies.
X-Men movies, huh? Oh yeah, I think let's see.
You know, he was like the X-Men movie that had Wolverine going around trying to find help, and it had Gambit. It was the only one that had Gambit in the movie.
Oh
The
yeah,
character Gambit, and he was that big, huge, fat guy.
You mean
boxing ring?
Oh, you mean yeah, that character that was named Blob. Yes, I believe what was it, Kevin Durant?
Yeah, that's what his name was.
Yeah.
Blob in the X-Men movie.
It was pretty interesting seeing him in another vampire movie because he was in The Strain, which was a FX series.
Right.
What? Oh,
yeah, he was. That was from like a while ago. I think that show ended like 10 years ago. And let's see. So, here's Kate. Yeah,
he's playing other things. I just couldn't think of what they were at the time.
I gotcha. But yeah, Kate, I wanted to tell you guys, like, I just love like the way the characters were portrayed and like the makeup effects. That were put on Alicia Weir when she played Abigail, especially like those teeth. Because
it's incredible.
Like they made it absolutely terrifying. Like I just had to have that as the thumbnail. And funny story, when I was on vacation, I was up in the lake house up in Wisconsin for a week with the family, and I had to edit the thumbnail, the image used for the video for people to click on, right? And I had to put Abigail on the cover, with the mouth full of fangs, like still like snarling like that. I had to have that there. But when I finished editing it, my 7-year-old niece Maeve came into the room and asked what I was doing, and I said, I said, Maeve, sweetheart, I'm working on a image for my show. You don't want to see this. This is really scary. And as I was closing the laptop, she got a glimpse, and she said, "Whoa, that girl is creepy." I said, "Yeah, she is. Like this is the kind of stuff your Uncle Don talks about all the time on his show."
Creepy and dangerous.
Bless her.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Can I ask, was that all makeup then, or did they use some kind of like CGI as well?
I'm not sure it was really CGI. I think a majority of that was practical. I did actually save this interview right here. Let me just pull that up. Somebody's dog is going crazy.
Mine.
Not mine.
Outside. They're mine and they're outside, so I really can't.
Oh man.
I'll just say
here.
Joy's quiet right now.
I love her. I just love her. And it's hard not to love her. And she's just the littlest thing you ever see in your whole life. And she's so cute. And every time she has her scary vampire teeth in and she's just smiling at you and laughing, and you're like, you're so horrifying, but I still love you.
And she's got that look still.
Loved horror films, and I just loved Abigail as her character and how she was like basically playing two different people, and like the transition from the innocent girl into like this vampire. I just thought it was amazing. So I was really, really intrigued.
Really on
Yeah, I like how she looked so scary.
Wow.
But yet at the same time she still had that cuteness factor going for her.
Yeah,
she did.
Yeah, I didn't know she was Irish. The actress.
Oh yeah, I believe so. Yes, and she also played Matilda in last year on that Netflix movie, Matilda musical.
Oh, that's where I've seen her from. Okay, yeah.
Yep, that's true. Yes, and Yeah, like, and I just love like the unique how unique her character was, like being a ballet prodigy and like and was actually applying her ballet to like when she was chasing down everybody, like just doing all those poses and jumps.
And kicking their
I
ass.
just read she performed her own stunts on that.
She did, and the directors, everybody on set was, and everyone on set was so impressed by what she can do as far as ballet that they made like they applied that to all sorts of scenes. They just kept on. They just wanted to get as much as they possibly could out
You
of
want
that.
to say hi?
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Oh, hello.
This is Puppy.
Aw.
Hi.
Is
We've
she a
been go-
vampire?
We've been gone all day, so she gets real needy and stuff, and when we get home. We were gone all day yesterday, all day today. We're going to be gone all day tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and possibly Saturday.
I see.
Taking a lot of road trips.
Yeah, like
adventuring.
Yeah, lots of people are vacationing now.
Yeah.
Yep. We were in Chicago yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did mention that. Yes.
Yeah, Resurrection Cemetery and Bachelor's Grove and a few other places that we went to.
That's awesome. Yeah, and like I said, Kate, I'm going to be going over the footage of the footage that I took while I was up there in Managua.
Yeah, I'm
we're
so
just
excited
in that
to see
area
that.
too today.
We were up there last time.
I'm really excited to see that. To see like the whole lake house and what.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh, you're gonna love it, Kate. That place, like I said, it's absolute paradise.
Yeah, and also the drone footage. She got a drone now.
Yes, I got a drone. Yes.
Yeah.
And so, and as far as let's see, when I mentioned like some more of the cast, there was that girl in that interview, Catherine Newton. Yeah, I've seen her in several different horror films. Like she was recently in Lisa Frankenstein. She was in Freaky, which is like a slasher version of Freaky Friday, right? And yeah, and I remember first seeing her years ago she was the girl in Paranormal Activity 4. Like not the best one out of the series though, but yeah, it was something for her to start with. Let's see. Who else? Let's see. Oh yeah, Dan Stevens played Frank, the character that dropped more F-bombs than anybody else in the movie. And so yeah. And he played Beast in the live action Beauty.
And he's in oh my gosh, Downton Abbey.
Downton Alley, yes.
Yeah.
Downton Abbey
was a huge British TV series.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my parents love it.
Oh,
yeah,
so good.
So I was kind of surprised to see him in this, and I remember first seeing him in the live action Beauty and the Beast with Emma Watson. You know, he was great.
Yeah.
He was in Godzilla.
Oh, that's Hermione. Here, I'm trying to figure out what that name.
Hey, Billy.
Wasn't he the one in Godzilla?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, he was in Godzilla versus Kong or X-Kong.
Yes, he was in the new one. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Wasn't he in a psychological thriller, Dan Stevens? Because I remember he lost loads of weight.
Yes, he did. Let me take a look.
I can't remember the name of the film.
Here, Dan Stevens. Let me take a look.
Yeah.
Let's see. Psychological thriller, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, let me take a look.
The Guest.
Yeah. Let's see. The Rental. Let's see. No, that's a different show. Let's see. Hold the Wild. Apostolate.
Maybe it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a TV movie.
Oh yeah, I think it was a TV series. Yeah.
Yes, he's been in quite a few TV shows, and so is like the biggest name. Oh, here. Yeah, this is the third Universal Monster movies along with Invisible Man and Renfield. Oh yes, that's. I hear you. Yes, yeah. Yeah, like this is they're going like all out on the vampire movies now. There was let's see, like over the last year there was Renfield, which was about Dracula and his assistant Renfield, his familiar, and then it was Last Voyage of Demeter, which was another Dracula story. And also in the end when Abigail's father was revealed, like he was like I had a good idea of who he was. So and then she what was her name? Joey. She was like asking if he was Christoph Lazar, and he said, I have gone by many names over the centuries, and I'm like, and one of those names wouldn't happen to be Dracula, would it?
Yeah, no shit.
That's what I
So
thought.
it's
too.
yeah, it's heavily implied that Abigail's father is actually Dracula.
That would make sense.
Well,
Yeah.
if he says something like that, that's like something the devil would say. I'm Satan. I've gone by many names over the millennia.
Mm-hmm.
And you think about that, Dracula would say something pretty similar because he's supposedly the oldest living vampire.
Yeah, he's the most famous of all vampires.
Right. And supposed, I don't know if he's the first one, but, different movies.
Yeah, Billy, they don't actually say, they never actually say his name is Dracula. It's just implied because he said, I've gone by many names. And I'm thinking one of them might be Dracula.
Well, what I saw when I was reading about this originally, when I first wanted to see it, is they were going to call it Dracula's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what they were going for, I believe. And
and I think they kept that pretty good.
I mean, the name could have been Dracula, or it could have been Keith Richards. He's been around longer.
And I like how they didn't follow a lot of the vampire lore, like how a vampire can be killed, and some things weren't effective on him that on her that you would normally think, and then also she had this unique power where after somebody was bitten, they became her puppet.
Right.
Literally her puppet. She controlled that person.
That's pretty cool.
That was crazy. Yeah, and like I was saying about Dracula, like I of course love the original story by Bram Stoker.
Yeah, it's a good book.
It is. And what was I going to say? Oh, here. Look
here
who's
he
here.
is.
What's up, guys?
Hi, Nick.
Even I beat you.
Nick.
Almost 20 minutes.
Yeah, you got it. Jeremy was almost right. So
Jeremy was almost right. Jeremy won that pool.
Yes, he did.
So you were.
I just Larry finished working out, so it was a good workout.
Okay.
Jeremy wins a pickle.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Scott's not here.
Here. Billy's asking Don. Could you imagine if Nicolas Cage's Dracula was in this? So yeah, he's referring to Dracula from Renfield. Yeah,
if he was, totally have ruined the movie.
Yep.
Yes, it would have. And it's like, yeah, Nicolas Cage being Abigail's father. It's like father, like daughter.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Horrendous.
I know. It just doesn't work at all.
I think they're just doing that to get you, Kate.
Yeah, I think so. Good job, Billy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Oh, here. I wanted to mention this. So one of the biggest names in this was let's see, Giancarlo Esposito, I believe his name is. Yeah, he was. Lots of people know him as Gus in Breaking Bad. Let's see, he was also. Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, it's right. And let's see, recent TV shows he's been in was I think he was the voice of Lex Luthor in Harley Quinn series on HBO, which I think is hilarious. By the way, I love that show.
Those are great. I love those.
Yeah. Oh yes, and let's see, Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian.
Oh, he's in Star
Mandalorian. Yeah.
Oh yes, he's been so he's really made a name for himself, especially on TV. But I gotta say, like when I first saw him years and years ago, it was in a movie that was really bad. It was something that was aired on Sci-Fi Channel. It was called I think it was called Chupacabra Dark Seas, but it's also called Chupacabra Terror.
Oh,
like
I
you play
think I know what that is.
It's horrible.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
It's really bad. Thank God I haven't seen it, but I already know about it. I don't need to see it.
It's terrible. Yeah. It's like how John Rhys Davies got dragged into it, I do not know. It's like really you went from Lord of the Rings to this?
Wow.
I saw Abigail in theaters, thought it was great. Hi, Don, friends. How are you guys doing? Oh, I'm doing great, Caesar. Yeah, I just got back from vacation, so everything's good. And been hanging out with family, niece and nephews. Went tubing with them, like on the water. Yeah. So yeah, we
being pulled behind a boat tubing.
Yep. Yeah, my family.
Awesome.
We use these signals. Like we instructed them specifically. This is to slow down. This is the speed up. And 2 thumbs up means Fast and Furious, baby. Yeah, let's go.
Gotta share
And
this
when you
with
don't
Tom.
see me, circle around.
Gotta share what Tom here said real quick. Yes, I did. If well, you guys already know, but yeah,
I did too.
Oh, you did. Oh, that's right. Didn't even see that. Oh, so that. Wait, when did you get yours?
2 days ago.
I got mine on Friday. So just like a day apart, or so that makes two of us then.
Yeah, 2 days apart. I got it.
2 days apart.
Just the two of us.
Must be. Well, I'm also. I will just say this. I also had to get a haircut, not because it needed to be cut, but it was actually because I got a wedding coming up this Saturday, and we're supposed to get a family picture. So we're
congratulations, Nick. I didn't even know.
No, I'm not the one getting married. It's not me. I'm not the one getting married. It's my cousin that is, but we got to get a really good family group shot. So I just want me to get a haircut for the occasion.
I'd walk.
Oh, nice. My cousin's getting married in 2 months.
I get my haircut.
What's that?
I'd walk into a church and risk spontaneous combustion before I got a haircut.
Oh my God.
And what were you saying, Don?
I was saying my cousin's getting married in 2 months.
Oh, nice. You guys getting a photo too?
Another one bites the dust, huh?
Yep. Wishing the absolute best. Yeah, me. I'm wishing the absolute best for Nick and Kate.
I'm trying.
Awesome.
I'm trying to be. I'm in a mood today.
And you brought up, and hey, funny that you brought up spontaneous combustion.
Yes.
Wait, let me just read this. If Abigail met Blade, Abigail would die. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, see.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I mean, Abigail is one little devious, manipulative, I'm serious. I mean,
no, it's not. No, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at what Tom McNicholas said.
I don't think Blade would know what hit him. And besides that, at the same time, her people that she made, her victims, she can control them too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so,
powerful.
And she's been around probably longer than Blade was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only advantage I think he'd have is being a daywalker.
Yeah. I mean, she is 400 years old and is trapped looking like a 12-year-old.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, piss me
and
off.
here, I have not seen it yet. I'm seeing it this week. Deadpool and Wolverine. I've seen it this week.
I was going to ask you, Don, when you were going to go see it, because I was going to ask you wanted to go see it like we did a few years ago.
I was seeing it either Friday or Saturday. It depends on when I'm busy.
Well, that might be an idea for one of our trips.
Yeah.
You, me, and Joe go see
Blade
Deadpool? That would be awesome.
I mean, go to drive-in and see it.
Ah, yes.
That would even be more fun.
That would.
I haven't been to drive-in years.
I've never been to a drive-in ever.
You've never been to a drive-in, Kate?
Never.
Oh, you gotta go.
Yes.
While you're here in the United States now, and before they vanish.
Well,
Okay.
and I can
They
tell you
are
guys
vanishing. Every year, the Jefferson 18 drive-in has been threatening to close, and it's been up for sale several times now.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
There you go.
As you guys know, too, I was recently at a drive-in with some
Yeah,
friends.
I saw that.
Yeah, Don, I know Don was originally supposed to go, but unfortunately that was when he was going out of town. So long story short, it was a double feature night, as a matter of fact. We ended up going to see Twisters and also a Quiet Place Day One. What's up, Robert? Yeah, you're missing out. And
I'm missing out.
That drive-in theater, I mean, I know it's probably a little bit of a longer trip for you, Kate, but what I can, it's also original too, was built in 1951. So it was during the era when, drive-ins were popular, but it could also be kind of seen as like a walk-in museum, but they have, it's incredible where it's crowded, but you can certainly get a good spot to see a movie in a drive-in.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, Nick, 1951. Yeah, that you said that was like the peak of when drive-in theaters were popular. My grandpa Chuck, he saw the original Thing in from the title, The Thing from Another World. He saw it when it was released that year.
That's awesome.
And with his buddies, it terrified him. And I was like, hey, Grandpa, if you think that version was terrifying,
oh, I already know what he's getting.
It's nothing compared
I
to this,
know.
the remake.
Well, and I will say to anybody that hasn't seen both movies yet, I don't want to spoil too much. Twisters, I'll say, was awesome. It was a lot of fun. I mean, it doesn't necessarily live up to like the original one from the 90s, but it does pay homage to it in several ways. It's definitely a lot of fun. They're already in talks of wanting to make a sequel for it, which if you kind of watch, again, I don't want to say too much, but they basically intentionally left the story and script unfinished. So you know that they're going to make another one. And it looked like the cast had a lot of fun with it. But as far as
flying cow.
Okay. No, it didn't have a flying cow.
Did it have a flying cow?
I wish it
probably did. I was expecting to see Dorothy.
Well,
Right?
Well, to be fair and whatnot, it's too bad that they at least could have shown like a flying shark.
Yeah, Sharknado. It was gonna be a Sharknado series. It was gonna be a Sharknado sequel, another one.
And then as far as for A Quiet Place Day One, I wasn't too crazy about it. It was okay, I would say. Well, unfortunately, because this was a double feature film. Wait. Before I continue on, what Jeremy just said. No, you were right on schedule. You win this one. I got here 20 minutes.
You win a pickle.
Yeah, you win a pickle.
But for Quiet Place Day One, I guess because we saw it at a drive-in, unfortunately, by the time they aired it, it was like 11 o'clock at night. So there were times I was I'm sorry, but I at least fell asleep once. But I don't know. I wasn't too crazy about it compared to the original one. Like I said, it was okay, but it really wasn't the best.
Yeah, but I do like how it had. Let's see, I think his name Joseph Quinn, who played who played Eddie Munson in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
You know, Nick. Yeah, you know, Nick, the show that you need to get caught
I
up on.
know. Well, and I also like the concept of like how it all got started to begin with the invasion. So that was pretty smart. But like I said, I think again, I get the whole meaning of it, but I think there was a little too quiet at times. And I think that's when a few of us kind of fell asleep during it. Yeah, I know. You know me too well. It's very scary. Damn nature, you scary.
Yeah, so hey Nick, wanted to ask, so what did you think about Alicia Weir's performance as Abigail?
Oh, she was creepy. I gotta say right now.
She was. It's scary how, despite looking like 12 years old, like she seems like she was like incredibly manipulative from the beginning.
See, this is what I've always said. I mean, I know in this case
like
she's
your
a
niece.
vampire. I know she's basically a vampire in this film, but I've always learned a lot of times with this. But every classic horror movie always has to have a kid in it. You always have to have a little kid sitting or standing there whispering or
being
like
creepy
or being manipulative. And you know what? Come to think of it now, since I've been working on my audiobooks, I actually might have somebody that may be taking part in one of these audiobooks sometime in the future. And it is going to be a kid basically, but it's going to be creepy as hell when I release the, it's going to be part of the trailer, but it's creepy as hell. I can tell you that right now.
That's cool. Can we talk about the location where it was filmed? Because that was incredible. It was filmed there.
You know, I never looked up that location. Here, let me see if I can.
It was actually filmed in the Guinness Manor in Ireland.
Yeah, because
in Dublin.
And it makes sense because the actress who played Abigail, she's Irish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here it is.
I didn't realize that.
Here, I found it. Glenmaroon House. Here. Let's see. Glenmaroon House, also known as the Guinness Manor.
Yeah.
My dogs are going crazy.
I can tell.
Okay. So, yeah, as I was saying, yeah. So, yeah, it took place there, which is, let's see, in Lugula near the Wicklow Mountains and on the edge of Dublin's Phoenix Park. So Dublin, Ireland?
Yep, Dublin, Ireland. And I think that's amazing that they actually film mostly on location and not just in a studio. Like that's
right.
Really cool.
Yeah, and also as far they had that, it's like in the movie they never actually say specifically what city it takes place in. It's like there are mentions of New York, but that's supposedly that's supposed to be a separate place from the setting. So they never really say what it was.
Instead, they added, like you said, in reality, was filmed in the capital of Ireland because that's what Dublin is. That's their capital.
Right.
All right. Take it easy, Jeremy. Have a good night.
Yeah. Take care, Jer.
Deadpool 3 was almost
Oh, Santi's in the house.
Yes,
Hi,
he is. I
Santi.
see him. Got
Oh,
back
hey,
to
Santi.
church. Okay.
Good to see you. Oh, yeah. No worries, man. Hey.
Deadpool and Wolverine was almost X-rated.
Yeah,
Why am I
does not surprise me.
Always pushing the
It would
boundaries.
have to be the language and some of the stuff that Deadpool does.
Yep.
Oh,
I mean, it's
You know,
Deadpool. What do you
what he
expect?
did in the first two movies was just ridiculous. You know, it was insane. And
But it was
they'd have
funny
to
as hell.
that to make
It is.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was.
Here, I got a picture of the
I
mansion.
haven't seen it yet.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, here. What I'm going to do. Oh, I was going to say.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I
Check
know.
that out.
Beautiful. Is
Amazing,
it
isn't it?
Tudor? Is it from the Tudor period?
What is it called again?
I think so.
The Guinness Manor
I'm looking
in
it up right
Dublin.
now. I'm looking it up right now myself because you know me with my love of history. So let's see what we got here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Give
It's
me
so
a minute while I'm
it's
looking.
rustic. I like it.
Yeah, give me a minute while I'm looking for it.
I got you.
Don't wait. I was gonna say don't wait for just me though. Oh, I think it's actually. Oh
No,
wait,
it's
no,
all
that's not. Oh wait, that's a different one. Excuse me. It was found one called the Guinness Storehouse, but it's a different mansion. I mean, building altogether.
Yeah, and it's like in the mansion's got just about everything. You know, pool tables, a theater, and also a
Wow.
pool for Abigail to dump her victims.
You
Yeah,
guys.
I remember
that
scene
was
with Catherine.
disgusting.
That was that scene where
That
Catherine Newton
was
just
like the most disgusting moment of that film.
yeah,
for
where
me.
she falls into
It's where she fell into that. I would assume body remains and stuff. You know, just
yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, she was using that swimming pool as a place to dump bodies of her previous victims.
So all of
And,
that decomposure was in that pool as like water and fluid.
Yep.
Yeah, so God
So
only knows
it's
what.
gross.
Yeah, so God only knows what kind of God only knows what kind of diseases Sammy got from that.
No shit.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was just gross.
That part made me cringe a bit. Seriously.
It was. Let me see. This was built.
Oh.
Okay, so it was built. It says here it was built more than 120 years ago. Surprisingly, compared to other.
Yeah, I think it's late 1800s, which is surprising because it looks so much older. But yeah,
120. That would actually be the early 1900s. So that means it was built back in 1904.
Really?
Yeah, which I'm surprised because you know obviously you look at it if you look at a city like Dublin, like the rest. Yep, see, Robert just wrote it down. He said 1904.
Yeah,
and that's surprising because again, if you look at other buildings and structures throughout Dublin as well as throughout Ireland, UK, and the rest of Europe, is that a lot of those buildings are a lot older. You know, have been around for centuries. So
because so you go to places like in all sorts of places in mainly Ireland and other parts of Europe, they have buildings that are like hundreds or even thousands of years old and still standing.
Even we're talking
castles that go back to, you know, I don't know what time, and most of it's still standing because, you know, people do tours just of the castles in Europe. You know, that's a thing.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful castles.
My aunt, before she passed away, that's what she was doing after she retired. She was going somewhere, and it was laid out where she'd see 5 or 6 different castles before coming back home for a while. And then she'd go and do it all again someplace else.
Wow.
Well,
I mean, that's
the pictures.
Seriously, this building looks older.
Yeah, maybe
this interior looks older than 1904.
Maybe the original was.
Glass.
maybe the original was knocked down and then they just kind of rebuilt.
Made a replacement. So
Yeah.
perhaps the history may even go back further if there was a previous building. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, there's no Wikipedia page on the location, which is
You don't want to
unusual.
trust Wikipedia anyways, because it can be edited by just about any moron.
Yeah, that's why Wikipedia is so unreliable, because anybody can just go on there and just mess with it.
Right.
Well, I mean, I use Wikipedia a lot on several occasions, usually just for the locations, though, like when I make my Nick Files episode for episodes for the history, obviously. But it's not just Wikipedia that I use. I use like different websites to put my slideshows together. But
it's good to cross-reference, definitely. But like that stained glass was incredible. I think it's the perfect place for a film. Maybe that I don't know who owns the manor now, but it's great for filming.
Well, and the other thing too is that well, I could even throw in another example of a good plate of another location that had been used for a movie, and that was called the what was it? Oh, Eddington Park, which is another it's another big castle, but this one's located in the UK, which undoubtedly Eddington Park, it does have a reputation of being haunted. But not only that, over 60 years ago, it was the location of one of the scariest movies ever filmed, and that was that movie, The Haunting, the original one.
Oh, yeah.
And that castle... that castle was built back in the 1500s. So obviously, again, other locations like that throughout the UK and Ireland
this is a much better picture.
Oh, wow. It's stunning.
Cool.
It's really
there we
stunning.
go. That looks incredible.
Wow.
It does. Yeah. It does have that Irish look to it too, because it looks like a giant, like almost like a pub in a way, but obviously much larger.
It's so rustic. I love it.
It is. It's gorgeous. Can I just say, so I'm from Norwich in the UK, and we have a super old castle. It was finished in 1121.
Wow, so almost 1,000 years ago.
And Henry VIII has been there. Like it's so iconic. It's Norwich Castle. So yeah, if anybody goes to the UK, go to Norwich, see the castle. Awesome. It's so cool.
I got one other one to throw, and this one's in Ireland too, and it's a place I've heard of called Oranmore Castle, which surprisingly, Jenny from Ireland, she hasn't, again, another haunted location. Jenny hasn't investigated it yet, but she knows about it. And that was built probably about 50 or so years later after that one you were mentioning, Kate. That one was built in 1170. So it's just amazing.
Oh, wow.
So it's just
still
amazing.
There.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing. I mean, these locations, not just in Ireland, but since you're originally from the UK, all these different locations you guys have, have existed long before we even became the United States. And that's what I find.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like is you have heritage sites and you have grade listed buildings. If it's like a second grade listed or third or first, they're all protected. You can't just knock them down.
Right.
I don't even know if you have that here in the US.
No, we don't, because
we don't.
It's a shame because some of these historic sites have just been gone to rubbles when something like that would have saved them to be able to, have money come in or a grant or something to maintain the buildings.
Yeah.
Or somebody just tears it down and we're going to make room for a strip mall here,
or even a Walmart.
Like yeah,
that's what they're doing.
I mean, they should do it and turn the places into little museums like they did with, I mean, the only reason like some of these places exist is because the person that got famous and was born there and got famous there was a whole TV series about her.
Yep.
And about and I have yet. That's one thing we might do Thursday instead of that is go all around the Laura Ingalls Wilder places that still exist.
That's cool.
Good.
But here. I wanted to respond. I wanted to respond to Tom's comment here. Let's see. Probably the biggest problem I have with the movie is that the trailers spoil way too much. Well, I can agree to that to some extent, but there were other surprises that you were in for when you first see this movie, not just 12-year-old turning out to be a vampire.
Yeah, I think most
Yeah, like,
trailers
you
do
get
that
eaten by a
now anyway. Like most trailers spoil a lot of the movie. But
oh yeah, Trump would love fighting vampires.
We just got to build a wall to keep out all the vampires. Okay, building wall is the solution to everything in life.
Yes, that is true, Sandy. I did react to this trailer when it was first announced. I did react to that trailer. Yes.
Let's see. Oh, I know this line. They mostly come out at night. Mostly, that's from Alien.
They mostly come at night, huh?
Yeah, they mostly come out at night. Mostly.
Oh, and guys, I just heard from Nikki. She's going to be coming on in a few minutes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Hopefully our internet is a bit better today. Bless her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Have you heard from Tom?
No, surprisingly, I haven't. I was expecting he was going to respond to. Well, when I tagged you earlier, Kate, in the chat with that clip that I sent.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you. That's a burning hell. I tell you what.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for blowing up my phone, Kate.
Sorry. Apologies.
Man. So another pretty shocking, gruesome aspect of this movie is that whenever a vampire is killed, they explode like spontaneous combustion style.
Yeah, I was going to go back to the spontaneous combustion that Joe mentioned.
Yes.
That's because he is a vampire. Joe is actually a vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a day walker. That's why I never go out in the sun all day too. I just gotta watch it. I actually started drinking water today too because I was getting close to dehydrating.
Oh, okay.
Gotta drink water.
But yeah, like I was shocked when I first saw like when Catherine Newton, when like she was in a vampire form, got exposed to the sunlight by having it reflected on her, and then just boom, blood all over the characters.
Ew.
She's nothing but a blood spatter. I know this movie gets pretty crazy.
Oh wait, what's up, Nikki?
Hi, Nikki.
Yeah, but, like some of those traditional things from like the old vampire myths and lore didn't work on her, like garlic or they were
yes.
But the way they did that, it was a fantastic job at this movie.
They did like have each one of them go after Abigail. Like there was Frank, there was Sammy, and then it was Peter going after them at the same time, like trying garlic. Garlic does nothing, and the crust does nothing. I mean, she ripped it off of Peter and then stabbed him 20 times. Yes, I counted.
Right. Really?
Someone's got anger management issues.
You really counted?
Yeah, I seriously counted.
Wow. Okay.
That's yeah.
And it was rapid. It was just like boom, 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 boom.
I know. I was like, wow. My head said, I wonder how many times she stabbed her.
And when she like impaled like Frank's leg with that stake, like they made it out of a pool cue, and I'm just like, oh my
God. That also made me cringe. Because didn't she just like go right through the knee?
Yep, and then she was laughing,
and it's like that's like the worst thing.
And then she just giggled.
I can just imagine the pain. It's like,
me too.
Oh man, God.
Oh man, yeah.
It's
like you're trying to figure out. I just love how they just tried figuring out the weaknesses because, like they're each vampire and like all sorts. You look at all these different movies and TV shows about vampires. Let's see, True Blood. Let's see, Twilight or
Lost Boys,
Dracula. All those Lost Boys, Blade, all those, and they each have to have their own different weaknesses. Like in Blade, silver was a weakness, but yet crosses did nothing. Hey, Braxton.
And ultraviolet or light or sunlight worked too.
Yeah, like
but
in Blade, like
that one's always seemed to be a constant.
That worked in Blade too, but like in Blade. Oh yeah. Yeah, crosses did nothing in Blade. So like weaknesses are like never really consistent in like throughout different franchises.
Well, and it would make sense in a way because when it comes to vampire culture, especially like even though in this case we don't know necessarily where exactly it takes place in the movie, even though it was like entirely shot in a majority of it was shot in Ireland. In a way, different vampires cultures are each each story is different, and the methods of killing, vampires is different as well. So,
yeah, so we would
so
be
I couldn't-
screwed.
You forgot dusk till dawn, Don.
Yeah.
I actually think that the most constant thing across the board is sunlight or
Yes.
ultraviolet.
Yeah.
light.
Yeah,
That is
there's
true.
one that I was gonna say that one is basically the only thing I think that's remained consistent.
Because
Okay,
sometimes
I'll-
silver works. This, then you get them joking ones. Well, silver bullets, is that silver? Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
Well, there's like
That's a werewolf.
allow me to throw an example where people would think immediately this is what you would do, but in this culture you don't. There's a type of vampire out there that's called the Gangshi, which is something that's from Chinese culture, as a matter of fact. And it's basically what it is. It's practically like a walk. It's almost like a zombie almost. It's I think it's Chinese for hopping corpse because it kind of hops, but it has this horrific, just this decayed look to it. And people would think immediately thinking, okay, just use a stake or something on it. I would say it's not going to work. You have to remember, this is a Chinese vampire. A wooden stake will not harm it. So, but apparently,
bamboo.
Well, actually, no. Apparently, there's a way that you could ward off a Gangshi. I mean, for the most part, unlike other vampires, it doesn't search for blood. It actually is one of those type of energy vampires. It drains like your life force, almost like like a succubus, basically.
Right.
But the other thing too is that if you encounter a Gangshi, you basically would have to like literally hold your breath, because the Gangshi for the most part is blind. It can only find you if it smells your breath. But the other thing too is that if it does gain that life force, it can gain eventual sight, and this is where you could use against it. Yep, just like that. That's what a Gangshi is from Chinese culture. But here's the way to ward off. You could actually use a mirror. You could actually use a mirror against one, because unlike, again, the traditional vampire, like where vampires don't have reflections.
Right, you can't see the reflections.
Well, in Chinese culture, they can, and you can use the mirror against them, because despite their horrifying appearance, Gangshis are actually terrified of their own reflection. And that's the way how you ward off. In fact, I was just about to say, Chris, I got a feeling they may have gotten that for Mumra and Thundercats.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You can. So that's like a different type of vampire culture, like from another country. Just throwing that out as an example.
Yeah. Would sunlight work on it?
Sunlight, yeah, I heard it's supposed to ward them off too. Like I said, that and there is one final thing that keeps in with the tradition of other vampire traditions, is that the Gangshi cannot cross running water either.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. What's the feature in
Yes,
Jackie
it
Chan
was. I
Adventures?
was actually going to say Braxton. He's right. In fact, I was going to say, if anybody remember this show from their childhood, the show Jackie Chan Adventures, they actually did an episode on the Gangshi.
Oh, cool.
I did when I was an adult, Nick.
Kind of more for Don and Kate here, yeah.
I remember that show. I only saw a few episodes of that show.
I loved it. Yeah.
And what was I going to say before? Oh, yeah, about the sunlight. The way those vampires, that spontaneous combustion, makes me think of that. It was a segment from the found footage horror series, VHS. It was, I believe, VHS 94, where this white supremacist group was like using a vampire's blood to like destroy an important building. Like when they're spattering the blood on it to and then it blows up in broad daylight. But then that whole plan backfires on them. The vampire gets loose and causes havoc. And there was one scene where a person did have vampire blood on them, and they just walked down to daylight and they just blew up. So yeah, the whole spontaneous combustion thing wasn't really new to me, but it was a nice touch for this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, Robert had a good point, because he was like, "Why do the clothes also combust with the body?"
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? You kind of cut off for a second.
Oh, sorry. So Robert also had a good point, because he said, "Why do their clothes turn to dust when the vampires die?" And that's true. Why do the clothes have to go?
Yeah. It's inorganic material.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
that's true.
there is
Yeah.
I was thinking of another
Yeah,
show that
like-
did something just like that. This was a show I recently introduced you, Don, several months ago. It's in fact an anime series. If you guys, Kate, you might know this series because even though it's anime, it was set in the UK called Hellsing Ultimate. Did you ever see that
Yes.
show?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
If you look at obviously Alucard, who suspiciously a lot of people believe he's basically Count Dracula.
Yeah.
It's back. Well, not only backwards. He's often shot down and torn apart several times, but every time he goes back and restores himself, his limbs, his head, his clothes come back as well. Like they're literally a part of him.
Oh.
Yeah, like he wears like this red coat, and although he does at times switch his clothes, every time like he loses parts of his body, he comes back with the red coat and suit, and even a hat, the wide brim hat that he wears. Everything comes back. Yeah.
Wow.
What was
Yeah,
that?
like
Santa.
it's like you
Blood
expect-
Rain.
So Santa.
Yeah, Blood Rain,
Santa.
yes.
I mean,
Blood
Satan.
Satan.
Santa.
Santa. No, Satan. No, wait.
I was reading that, and I'm trying to think, what was that movie? And it's like a Blood Rain.
Blood Rain. It was a video game at first. I didn't like the movie.
Yeah. It was a video
because
game first.
it's video games were decent at best, but the movie's horrible. I mean, I expect nothing more than horrible from Uwe Boll.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
Uwe Boll. That guy is a complete joke. He's known for making terrible video game adaptations, such as like you said, Blood Rain, and also House of the Dead and Alone in the Dark. I cannot decide which one is worse.
Yeah.
1A and 1A.
If I watch his movies, I cannot watch his movies without the feeling of my brain cells dying one by one.
Oh, hang on a second. I saw you put a comment here, Nikki. Hang on.
Yeah.
They had to come as something. What would you be? Oh, that's a good question. There you go.
Oh, I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar, she's great in that, and also my celebrity doppelganger is in it. David Boreanaz. Yeah, David Boreanaz.
Yep.
Nick, what would you come back as anything?
Oh man, that's a good question. Come back to me on that. Well, everyone else answers that question.
Someone's dog like whining or
Yeah,
something.
that's Joy.
Oh, okay.
She's being vocal. I mean, you gotta expect that from a husky.
Oh yeah, huskies. They're
very
the most
vocal,
vocal.
and if they don't get enough attention, or you're eating food in front of them that they want, they're gonna speak up. They're not gonna keep quiet.
Sounds like my daughter.
That's my uncle's dog. Yeah, Rigatoni. Yeah, that reminds me of
Your
Rigatoni.
uncle's dog is named Rigatoni?
They have two dogs, Rigatoni and Rigatoni and Cannoli.
Are they Italian?
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
No, I'm not putting you outside. It takes off running.
Oh, Robert here says, I thought it was one of our Irish wolfhounds.
Oh, that's cute.
Wait, hang on. Well, I got to see what's all three of them are worse unless Mr. Krabs gets so bad it smashes everything on a shower.
What?
Kate, if you came back as something, what would you come back as? It could
Oh,
be anything.
that's a really tough question.
There's so many choices.
Yeah.
Yep. It's for me. If I were to come back I would be a zombie. Yeah, it's like.
Oh wait. I think I have.
Because I'll tell you why. I could become Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, that's awesome. I was gonna say, I think I might know the answer for Kate. Actually, she'd probably come
Nick
back
Cage?
as a reincarnation of Nicolas Cage.
Oh my gosh. Well, at least I would.
Nick would come back as a cockroach.
Nope, no cockroaches.
I have arisen back.
One cockroach.
I've risen back from the great beyond.
Do you know what? I'm gonna go with that. I would come back as Nicolas Cage, and I would reimagine his career. You know,
Robert.
Yeah. Have him make him avoid the Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Zombie Trump.
Yeah,
We'll
come
leave
back
that
and
to
tell
you,
us.
Zombie
Chris.
Trump.
Yeah, we'll leave that to you.
Nope.
Yep. Now that I'm back from the dead, yeah, you gotta build a whole new wall. You know, because people want to kill my people. Let's see, people are becoming zombies, and we're going to keep all the zombies out. Build a wall to keep all the zombies out.
And then do
Illegal
you know
aliens.
what? Do you know what would happen? Nicolas Cage would be president.
I wouldn't mind having him as
Oh
president.
my god!
Vote
And he
for
probably,
Nick. Vote for
and he probably if people, I don't want to get too political, but if Republicans basically don't agree with what he has, then he could just say this here, like I was like showing the background. So
Yeah, that is so cringe. That is just cringe. Oh my!
There we go.
And I was crushing what? Oh, Willow. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. She was. Let's see, Willow.
Andika, nice.
I remember who. Yeah, I remember that show. Man, that show's a classic. Seriously. Let's see. That cab, I believe. Wait, what? Got scared watching Lights Out. Oh yeah, we were laughing
oh
at the
yeah,
Lights Out.
that
was
scared the hell out of me.
Yeah,
Why
we watched.
didn't-
We did
I
a
would-
reaction
I
video
would
where
love
we
to
watched
see you
the short
guys.
film Lights Out.
Yeah, I would love to see. I would love to see a video of you guys watching the whole movie and just having
Reaction.
the reaction. Just
Oh,
like that would
yeah,
be cool.
it wasn't of the actual movie. It was of the short film that it was based on.
That's
It's
cool.
still scary as hell.
That'd be so fun.
What'd you say, Nick? You kind of cut off.
I said it was, even though it was a short film, it was scary as hell.
It was good suspense, good build up, and very last shot.
Yeah, that you could see me jumping at the end, like whoa.
Don, do you know who Christopher Golden is?
Yeah, I always love watching short horror films on YouTube. I got to do more and more reactions to that, but like I'm sure a few people out there have been wanting more. So hey, got to give the people what they want.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know who Christopher Golden is, Don?
Christopher Golden.
That name
He's
does sound familiar.
Book writer. He
Oh,
wrote the Bram
Ghost Rider,
Stoker
yeah.
Award winner.
Yeah.
He wrote Of Saints and Shadows. Great book. Great vampire book.
Oh,
There's a series of them. There's
Also-
like 3 books. They're pretty
oh,
cool.
okay, 'cause yeah, that's why I didn't know about it because I never really read comic books.
Oh no! It's a real book. It's a real.
Oh no,
book.
you were saying Ghost Rider, so
No.
Oh, you saying? Oops, sorry, that was my fault.
That's
Sorry.
all right. Whoa.
here we have.
Whoa, hey Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Hey.
G'day, mate. How you doing?
G'day. How you doing?
Bro, how you doing?
Oh, bloody fantastic, mate.
Have you got a shrimp on the Barbie?
Nah, didn't unpack the doll.
That's what
I love it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Allison had that's her name.
Someone
Gabrielle too. Oh, Xena. Yeah, I didn't watch Xena
Yep.
though. I know of
Yep.
the show. I just never really watched. Let's see. No way SpongeBob could ride a motorcycle than Ghost Rider. Yeah, nobody could ride a motorcycle than Ghost Rider. Nobody.
Honestly, I hated Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage. Like,
It had Nicolas
honestly,
Surprise.
honestly,
Oh yeah.
so disappointing. What the hell?
Right. Oh yeah. So Robert, have you seen Abigail?
No, I haven't.
Oh well, it's definitely worth seeing. It's like like I know that Hollywood has been putting out a whole bunch of vampire movies over the past year, but Abigail I believe is the
Yep.
best out of all of them.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
like great performances by Melissa Barrera, who also was in the Scream movies.
Right. Yep.
Let's see. And when I first saw this and like saw the interviews of the girl that played Abigail,
Mhm.
what was her? What was trying to remember her name? It was Alicia Weir. Yeah, like she was. I was amazed to learn that she's actually Irish.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she could pull off a great American accent.
Yeah. I wish I was one of those people that are really, really good at accents. Like some people just do it
Multi-vocal.
flawlessly,
Oh,
and they have all these personalities, and they have like such good like flawless accents, and I can only do one. It's just like, how?
it's like it's like I could do all kinds of different accents, but I don't. It's like I'm afraid to do it online because of how racially insensitive it could come off as.
Okay, no, yeah.
So yeah.
Well, it's just amazing to think too, like how you got all these well-known actors that you would immediately, like if you didn't hear of them before, you would immediately think that they're just simply American actors. When in reality, you have a lot of them.
Like Christian Bale.
Oh, yeah,
I
Christian
didn't
Bale.
know he was British.
I just thought of somebody. Well, I just thought of somebody else, and this is a show I've. It's been a long time since I've watched it, but I know he was really good. In fact, he's. I think he's still doing the show right now. Freddie Highmore, who does The Good Doctor, and of course, several years back did Bates Motel, and it wasn't until recently, until I saw an interview of him, that he was actually British in reality.
Yeah.
Well, he also did the kid. He played himself. He's played twins in the one with the trolls and the Seeing Stone, where they had to hold the.
Yeah.
Charlotte Thatcher.
Yep. Yeah, can't remember the name of it. But it was a kids movie.
Yeah,
yes.
I know he did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and he was a kid. He's done a lot of movies since he was a kid.
His British accent came out in that, so
yeah.
I kind of suspected that he was British back then. And let's see. Oh, and it's like I said about internet, like voices of other like all these accents. So it's like one that I always enjoyed doing as a kid was Sean Connery. He has that Scotsman accent.
That's good.
Yeah. Your name's Bond, James Bond.
Well, yeah, and I got to bring it up, and let's not forget, of course, most recently with Arnold Schwarzenegger telling everyone to be a good neighbor.
Yeah, we're destroying the monsters in Minecraft because we were destroying monsters in Minecraft because they will not be in good neighbors.
That's what I said, neighbor. That's what I said, neighbor.
Yeah, I will say this: the very first voice that I ever attempted,
about to in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, the very first voice that I ever attempted as a kid was Stitch from Lilo and Stitch.
Oh yeah.
So, I was 10 years old at the time. Yeah, I was 10 years old at the time when that movie came out, and I was just saying things like, "Our Hannibal's family or forgotten." And then I was altering that voice to like sound like Gollum. I altered that voice to make it sound like Gollum, and I was just saying stuff like, and then I just kept gaining voices from there.
That's really cool.
Yeah, well, the only one I could think of that I could do, and this is one you guys know all too well because I've learned it from
jeez, Nick.
Well, not only that, but I'll tell you what. I felt so paid.
The only thing I do is like weird Tweety Bird thing.
Hey, Braxton, that Hellsing anime, it's worth seeing. It's really good. Now, like a lot of people have been saying that I need to do some more reactions to anime, but I'm hesitant to do so because I'm worried about copyright. So I may have to do some serious, like I can't do it live, so I got to do some serious like editing, chop it down to try to attempt to avoid copyright issues.
Yep. Hey, look, Nick, there's my Abigail in my background.
Oh, check that out.
Yeah, and let's see. There was one actor in this that let's see, who played Rickles. I'm trying to like I don't think I've really seen him in much of anything. It was played by William Catlett. I think he's like starting. His name is starting to get out there more. But here I should mention about this film. One name that died too soon was there was the actor who played Dean. It was Angus Cloud. Yeah, he died last year from a drug overdose. And that was this movie was this was the last role that he had starred in before his death. And let's see, Angus Cloud. Well, I keep hearing his name. I kept hearing his name all the time. He was in that TV show. It was on HBO, I think. Euphoria, I believe. He played Fresco.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, and let's see. Here, the last voice role that he did was Snickers in Garfield, the Garfield movie.
Awesome.
Let's see. He did a cameo appearance. He did an appearance in Juice WRLD. The Juice WRLD music video for cigarettes. Yeah.
Don, real quick, I just got Nikki. I just got your message. Unfortunately, she's gonna have to go a few minutes early because her phone is dying.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bye, Nikki.
Good seeing you, Nikki. As always.
Nikki.
Sorry.
Oh, hearts.
Mm-hmm. Grew up watching Dino Dan. Oh, my niece and nephews watch that.
I've never heard of it.
Me either.
It's one of the newer shows. Oh, the late rapper Juice WRLD. Yep, that's right. Yeah, like it's Angus Cloud. Yeah, it's just terrible what drugs do to people. You know. Let's see.
Yeah, that's such a shame.
He was. Let's see. How old was he? Let's see. How old was he? 1998. He was younger than me.
Yeah, he was 25.
Holy crap.
There's no age.
And I already know, and I know all too well, and so do you, Don. Obviously, we've had. I'm not going to mention names, but as you know, we've known a couple other people that, well, are not dead yet, but have fallen victims to drugs, and we had to cut ties with them, unfortunately. So we know the reality when people get involved in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what. Yeah. Hey, I've been to a university. I've seen what goes down there. I've seen the drinking. I've seen the drugs, and I was smart enough to stay away from the dangerous stuff.
Yep.
You know,
You
I stayed
knew
away from
that.
drugs, and I only. Yeah.
Yeah,
I stayed away from drugs, and I just drank at parties. You know, so.
Yeah, Keith Richards is still going. So.
Yeah, we knew obviously.
He's preserved.
Yeah, I was Delta Don. You know, I was
God.
The guy who loved the parties, but also because I was in the fraternity Delta Tau Delta, and they called me Delta Don.
Yeah, but in reality, I mean, there were times that Don and I we were both kind of exposed, like especially for someone that we used to hang out with, and then as things got incredibly worse, that's when we had to basically we didn't. I mean, it was sad that we had to now cut ties with people who we thought were our friends. But when they started going with all the drinking and some of the drugs and stuff, we had to get out of there and get away.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if you think about it too, and I got to be honest, Don, if we still ended up being with those people, there's no telling what would have happened. And you know, I know I'm maybe overthinking a little bit, but I got a feeling that we probably would have ended up to being where we are now with these podcasts. So I'm glad we basically made our escape while we still had the chance.
Yeah. It's back in the oh wait. Remember years ago when people did oh my god, yeah. Oh that's so...
Oh what? Whoa, wait.
Yeah, that was like a big fad.
What? How I never heard of that before.
Yeah, I heard of it.
Ew.
Yeah.
I heard of kids the embalming fluid.
Yeah, I heard about kids at grade school talking about that, and I'm just like yeah, and I'm just like, oh my god, like what are people doing?
Where the hell are they even getting it in the first place?
You know, most people they don't think, they're not smart, and they don't want to believe the reality. Alcohol,
yeah. Oh hey Nick, look at this one.
You can die of alcohol poisoning.
I was told about someone smoking a roach.
Oh,
too.
they did that
No
in that
thanks.
Cheech and Chong movie.
Roaches.
He did that.
Real
He
ones.
smashed that roach in the Cheech and Chong movie, and he put it in pipe and smoked it. But you know, you got alcohol that can kill you, and then you've got coke, heroin, meth, and all this other man-made bullshit that can kill you, right?
Right.
And all this is man-made. You know, because they got to do something for these drugs to become these drugs. You know. Right. They're manufactured. Now,
the natural ones they leave alone.
I don't mean to bring religion in it, but then you have the good old pot. They call it a drug, but it's actually an herb or a flower. Depending on how you look at it.
But to be fair,
happens in the process except drying that out, grinding it up, and putting it in the pipe and smoking it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the marijuana does have medicinal properties. I mean, people do use it for that.
That's right, because
I mean, there are people who use it for that purpose.
That's because God made pot and put it on this planet, and all we do is dry the plant out and smoke it. And you've never heard of somebody ODing from that, but I've seen plenty of people die from alcohol, and drug overdoses and just being on really stupid shit, and then all of a sudden just getting into a fatal accident.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. So like it's like, well, Angus Cloud's death is a real tragedy. It is a reminder.
Yeah.
Well, it is a reminder for all of us to, just stay away from drugs. It does nothing good ever comes from it.
Nope.
Totally.
The only thing I've ever done, I smoked, I drank for a while, and I didn't like the effects. So, and I didn't like the taste of alcohol that much. So it's like, I can, I never turned into an alcoholic. My mom says, "Oh, you're going to be just like your father and turn into an alcoholic." And, when you get told that enough times, that's usually what happens. But because I didn't like the taste of this stuff, but I've always smoked pot.
Huh.
And I won't give that one up.
Right. Yeah. So, I wanted to ask about, what'd you guys think of like the characters in this? Because like each one of them had like their own personality.
I liked the way they did that. I really did.
Yeah, they were so diverse.
I got what Sati just said. Clearly, tell Nick's hairstyle looks like Donovan Pad's hair. He played Steve's brother Joe in Blue's Clues.
Oh man. Okay. Well,
I never thought of it that way, but since he put it that way, now I guess I'm gonna have to start thinking about it.
So yeah,
and food for the day.
Like I was saying, Joe, I really enjoyed like how diverse these characters were. Like their own personalities.
Yeah, and then the fact that they weren't to share anything personal. There was rules in place. No personal information, no getting personal, and no real names.
Yeah. So they just cleverly had them all
background info. Yeah.
So to disguise all them, they just cleverly had like each one of their names like from the Rat Pack. That like Dean from Dean Martin, Frank from Frank Sinatra. Yeah.
Yep.
And let's see, there was
and then they said the other rule was they weren't to show their face to that girl, and the only Joey was allowed in there to talk to her.
Right, and hey, rules were made to be broken.
Yeah, they sure did break them after a while. Paranoid. It was like paranoid. They got paranoid, and it started setting in and eating at them each individually a different way.
Right. And
then they do something that would break those rules.
Yes.
And end up dead.
Yeah, and then Abigail ends up like secretly killing them one by one at first. Then it creates like tension and paranoia among the group.
Right.
Like, they suspect that one of them is Christophe Lazar's assassin, like hitman. Because Christophe Lazar is Abigail's father. That's what they found out. And so
Abigail
they think
played them like an old golden fill or something.
She did. She is by definition, Abigail is manipulative. And
she played them like perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then then finally when they began to suspect her, that's when she finally revealed herself.
Yep.
And then the hunt began. She was like hunting them all down.
Yeah, but then it was like, I'll make a deal with you. I'll let one of you go, but you got to do this, or, they were given choices, like she was still playing that game and manipulating them and still putting the paranoid feeling into them.
Oh, yeah.
Or making them second guess the other person.
Yeah. I also like how they had her, like when they were trying to confront her, and then she was like dancing to Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake, I believe that song is called.
Yeah, Swan Lake.
She dances that all the time in this movie, and she was like dancing with Dean's decapitated corpse. That was so freaky.
Yeah, I know.
And,
wow.
And then there was that scene where, to show her manipulative side further, was when they had her knocked unconscious and wake up in an elevator cage, when she basically toyed with them, like thinking that she couldn't get out of there, but no, she just busted that door down like it was nothing when she finally had Frank alone.
Bruce, really thinking I let you keep me in here.
And she does these ballet poses whenever she's chasing people. She did it right there,
or when she's kicking, she used those ballet moves like kicks too, and a couple of times they kick some guy, to kick their ass.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Rick James cocaine's out. Yeah, that's true. I've heard them say those things. And let's see. Oh yeah, like that part where she was when Joey exposed Abigail's arm to sunlight and her hand just exploded, and then it started regenerating. So yeah, Abigail has all kinds of powers. She can she's not only does she use manipulation tactics, she can regenerate. She can levitate herself. There was that part where she was levitating while holding Frank's leg.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So yeah, Robert, there's so much to see in this movie. Like there's so much crazy things going on.
They made that one dangerous little 12-year-old. Well, but she wasn't. But yeah, she's 400. But yet she's 12. It's
Yeah.
mind-blowing.
Well, yeah. I mean, she was bitten when she was turned when she was 12. So she is 400. It's just that
That's
she didn't
kind
age.
of another rule that always has kind of been down, because it's one of those vampire rules. Like it's one of those things that's like you don't turn a child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they did an interview with a vampire. They explained that rule very well in the interview with a vampire. So
Have you seen the new series?
they don't grow up because they get frozen at whatever age they get turned.
Exactly. It's like
They did the same. They did the same in Twilight.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's one thing that remains consistent with some vampire, franchises is that when a vampire is bitten, they don't age. I mean, that
it was that way
applies
in
to
Lost Boys too.
Yeah, that applies to Lost Boys. That applies to True Blood. And which is amazing show by the way. Amazing show by the way.
Mm.
Yeah.
That was mentioned in the Blade movies.
Yep. Let's see what else. Oh yeah,
Has anybody seen the recent interview with a vampire that just came out? I think it's
I haven't.
I want to see that. I want to see Nosferatu. I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah,
that looks good.
Yes,
Queen of the Damned. Yeah.
Queen of the Damned.
I remember
Have
that.
you seen the original Nosferatu?
Yeah, I feel bad for the actress who was in Queen of the Damned. She had died shortly after that movie was released.
Yeah, she did.
Now let me look this up.
A plane wreck, I think, right?
Of course, obviously,
Yeah,
like
it
you just
was.
said, Chris. I mean,
Alaya or something like that.
Queen Latifah, wasn't it?
I
Alaya,
also wanted
yes.
to answer, Chris. I also wanted to answer your question because he asked if Don seen Nosferatu. I mean, we both seen it. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago around Halloween, I actually dressed up as Count Orlok from Nosferatu because I was doing it, in fact, for the 100th anniversary of Nosferatu because it was 2022. Nosferatu came out 100 years ago, then in 1922.
Here.
Yep.
Ooh.
Aaliyah, yes. She was actually killed before the movie came out. She was in a plane crash.
Not anymore.
Sad. But she's hot.
She's dead.
Let's see.
Probably would have been hot
Oh,
with
Romeo,
the crash.
Chris,
Romeo Stye, Dr. Doolittle, Anastasia. Wow, she's worked on quite a bit.
I wouldn't have kicked her out of my bed.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's important.
It's because I'm on vacation and I've been having fun.
Oh,
I've been in a
6,000
mood.
years old. Wow. Yeah, she was. I saw that. She was
That
only
is
22
very
years old.
sad. That
Yeah,
is way
that's
too
terrible.
young to die.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely terrible.
But,
Yeah,
she was talented, and that's like a waste for that kind of talent. I mean, God knows what she could have done in her career with her looks and talent. She could have gone a long fucking way.
She would have. Yes.
Yeah, she would have.
Just tragic.
She would have been a household name. Like, like a lot of the top superstar actors are.
Yeah, just gone way too soon.
Yeah, that's always a tragedy when you got talent musicians. I mean, some of them that die too quick. I wasn't much fan of Michael Jackson as a person. I mean, I still think that was a screw job too on him. That whole thing. But no one can deny how talented that man was.
He was.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
is super
And
talented.
his music was legendary.
Oh
And
yeah.
for him to die and all the controversy around his death, that was really sad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I adored his music.
Oh yes.
You know.
So let's
Prince
see.
is another one that went way too soon.
Yep.
Yep. That's right. Here, I
Greg
want to look at the directors of Abigail. It was directed by a duo that
I
was
give
called
Hollywood 2 thumbs up for an imagination.
Yeah, it was directed by a music or sorry, like a duo that call themselves Radio Silence. Let's see, the directors' names were Matt Benelli Oplin. That name sounds familiar. Let's see, and Tyler Gillett. Let's see. Wait, let me look up his name. Oh wait, you know what? I now I remember. Now I know why I know this guy. He ran a YouTube channel called, let's see, Matt, Shad, and Rob. I believe that was called. This was years ago. I watched their channel. They put some crazy short films.
Oh.
Here, let me see. YouTube channel.
Braxton said favorite song from MJ, Dirty Diana. Favorite song from Prince is When Doves Cry.
Oh, here. Or Chad, Matt, and Rob. Okay, that's what that was. Oh, yes, they did this video. There was a viral video where they tried to play an alien prank that went wrong. Yeah, I my God, that was him. Wow, he's come a long way from that.
Wow.
Wow. Let's see.
Oh, Santi's birthday is coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Happy early birthday, Santi.
Oh, so his is the 28th in a couple years.
That's my wife's birthday.
So the 28th, that basically 28th, that basically means in a couple years that'll be his golden birthday.
Yep.
I forgot where we're supposed to go that day, but she said it when we were on a ride. There's one of those paranormal type places or something we're going.
You know, I just thought of something. You know, because all this talk with vampires and stuff like that.
Yes.
With Braxton, who lives down in Louisiana, I'm not sure how far he is from like New Orleans. You look at a city like New Orleans, they are full of vampire culture, not just the history and ghost stories, but they have like vampire groups and whatnot. I mean, obviously not like what you see in Abigail, but obviously there's a lot of vampire culture. Of course, you know, to people
You'd be
outside
surprised across the U.S.
I was going to
how
say
much of that is in existence.
Well, New Orleans and even New York City has its own kind of vampire culture too. And it may seem like, you know, obviously gross to people outside the culture, but that's quite a tradition. As a matter of fact, I never even told you guys this before. We actually interviewed a person who lived down in Louisiana who claimed that he was a vampire, but not, of course, the same way. Like he actually did consume blood, but not, again, like what you see in movies, basically. But it's just
he just drank True Blood.
No, he just basically no. He would.
I mean, you said Louisiana.
Okay,
no,
I gotta go, guys. Family
Oh, you
stuff
out here,
popped up.
Chris?
So I gotta go. Yeah,
Okay.
family stuff popped up.
It's good to have you on, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
You
Take
too.
care, Chris.
Bye. Thank you.
I've done that.
Oh, wait, yeah, what Braxton just said. Yep, there's a vampire culture and folklore down there. I'm up in Northwest Louisiana. It's a couple hours away from there. Okay, so, but either way, he knows about it. But yeah, like in reality, though, like he never goes crazy or anything like that. They just like drink blood in small quantities.
I see.
Yeah.
Quantities, excuse me. Yeah. It's gross, but you know, you have to remember it's like
But in actuality, a lot of those people aren't gonna necessarily drink somebody else's blood because one, that's probably medically dangerous. Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that, that, to get us into trouble. But if it's like your own blood, I mean, how many times have you gotten cut and you've gone like that? And I mean, that's not going to hurt you or kill you. So if you, drained it into a glass, if you're bleeding real bad or something, and then actually consumed it, that shouldn't hurt you because you're just putting it back in your body where it came from.
So,
but I wouldn't drink somebody else's blood.
Yeah, that's
no. They like I said, the guests,
Right.
this vampire that we had. I mean, that we interviewed. Yeah, it's definitely not like what you see. I mean, they don't go out and search for victims, and they do that too. But they also, even if they did consume someone else's blood, they would also, of course, have permission, obviously, to do so. So, yeah, again, it's gross, but you have to remember, it's like anything else. It's a different culture entirely.
Right.
Yeah.
But but I can definitely tell you though, at the end of the day, these real vampires, and this one who we've interviewed, is no different than anybody else. You know,
Well,
they're still normal
You,
individuals.
you could be working with a person and you wouldn't even know.
And you look at a state like Louisiana, which is, racially diverse too. I mean, it's like that for both genders, all races. It doesn't matter basically. But yeah, you just described it. You could be working with someone and not realize that they are involved in vampire culture.
They're not gonna dress in their vampire garb at work, because a lot of places nowadays, because of how sensitive everybody is, has got dress codes. You can't wear that T-shirt because it's offensive. You can't wear that because it's offensive. You can't wear baseball caps
Right. But do these vampires come out in daylight though?
Oh,
Sure.
Well, the real life ones do, because there's one that came from the town just up the road from here, Rockhampton. That's where I was born. She was called the lesbian vampire killer, and I don't know if you want the name, but yeah, she grew up in Rockhampton, moved down to Brisbane, killed the guy down there, drank his blood.
I've
in real life.
You know what? Actually, I think Nikki has told me about that story. That's actually something that Lois and I were thinking about talking about. I mean, I know it's not called To the Grave and Back anymore, but we're still going to be talking about crimes. But that actually is something that we're going to be talking about sometime in the future. But yeah, I know that case all too well, Robert. But yeah, I mean, like with this, like I said, it's an interesting culture. Like for those down in New Orleans and New York City, they even have, believe it or not, vampire like nightclubs, like in some areas. Like you talked about earlier, Don, saying, well, can they go out at night or anything? Those vampire clubs are truly late night clubs. They never have them during the day because they're very secretive. It's like you have to, there's like, it's not just a public thing. You got to basically, got to keep quiet. I receive like,
you got to blend in.
Yeah, you got to get like you might get a special handshake or something like that. And you got to have these cards ready, to go in. Or there's even actually a number. I'm not even joking when I'm saying it. There's even a number out there that's called Vampire Access Line. And you leave them a message and they might get back to you and invite you to a meeting.
Wow. That's crazy.
I never knew.
Or they can have some kind of tattoo to get their entrance into these.
Yeah, like there was a famous case back in the late 90s about it. And back then, I mean, there was a famous case back in the late 90s involving that. And back then, you had different ways of basically gaining access into it. I don't know what it's like now, but that's what I was saying before. These different cards or these phone numbers, secret phone numbers, or like you said, tattoos, different ways of gaining access into these clubs.
Yeah.
Right. That does remind me of it makes me think of the vampire bar in True Blood.
I was thinking more of Blade,
Blade, that's what you're saying. Blade, that one's more accurate. Yeah.
Surprisingly, Chicago doesn't. I actually looked thinking if we ever had any for downtown Chicago. There may have been one or two that may have existed years ago, but obviously the vampire culture in Chicago is not as big as like we would see down in New Orleans or New York City. So if they did exist, they no longer are in operation, unfortunately. So if anybody wants to go to that stuff, you would have to go to one of those two cities.
New Orleans is one of those places where there's a lot of things that are more acceptable in society than they would be outside of New Orleans.
Oh, look at this! What Tom said. He toured the vampire sites.
Nice.
Oh, nice, awesome.
Yeah, there's some pretty. I remember hearing a few stories about a couple of the different cemeteries that are there.
Yeah, there's vampire culture around that too.
Yeah, and also voodoo and
It's got New Orleans has got everything, basically.
Yeah, it's got everything, but those cemeteries, boy, they've got some really scary stories.
Actually, it's funny. I just thought of this. There were 2 new friends that Tom McNicholas and I had met. Actually, Tom's going to know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about that guy Gabriel and his girlfriend. He actually messaged me earlier today, and they're currently down in New Orleans. And he was asking. Unfortunately, they don't have any of the equipment, but they were asking, "Do you know of any good like paranormal apps that actually like really work?" And although I'm not crazy about them, I did recommend 2 of them, but they're down in New Orleans as of right now, as we speak. So hopefully they're having a good time.
Oh, here, Nick, I wanted to show you that comment.
Yeah, sorry, I was just looking at like what because I wanted to also answer, well, not answer, but show where Santi was going in England.
Yeah. Here, Billy's asking you a question, Nick.
Yeah, I do. I watch them.
Yep, so did I. I've loved him ever since I was little.
And that's the thing too, even like when you look at a film like Dracula with Bela Lugosi in it, and you compare it also with Abigail, because in fact, I remember hearing this, because all this talk about like, different types of cultures and when it comes to vampires. I've always learned that, again, to kind of give some differences or, worldwide, is that in the Eastern European cultures, as like kind of with this film too, the vampires pretty much appear as they did in life, with the exception. Oh, is that one of the clubs?
Bar Sinister, that Braxton was just telling me to look up.
Bar Sinister.
Yep.
Okay,
It's a goth emo
vampire.
Wow, check that out.
Insane.
Wow. Now
It's
that's
like
a club I probably would go to because it's got all the cool stuff there.
It looks like I love it. It looks like a big Halloween party. I love it.
If that's something that like exists yearly, yeah, it really does look like a yearly Halloween party. That would be something I go to.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, like, when you look
Hey,
at
Charles.
different cultures. Hey, Charles. When you look at different cultures around the world, it's interesting because, like I said, when you compare, like I said, with the original, well, with Dracula and Nosferatu and Abigail and all these other movies and series like True Blood, it's like, I think in the Eastern European tradition, the vampires appear pretty much as they did in life, with the exception of having, like maybe pale white, cold skin. But in other parts around the world, including here in the United States, as well as, like I said, China, and I'm sure same for you guys in Australia, Robert, is that you got vampires, obviously, that are more demonic looking. They're monsters, practically.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but most of the places around here suck.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of a couple cool places, but, I've never really heard too much, when it comes to vampires in Australia, and I've been kind of interested in wanting to see if there is anything out there in Australia.
Well, it's a club. It's actually they have a big show type thing on stage. It's called Dracula's on the Gold Coast, and they have it's a show and dinner type setup, and that'd be one place that people would be able to go in character and dress up, because everyone is dressed up there. So, but it's not like the ones up there where you're talking about, where they have to have certain handshakes or cards or tattoos or whatever to get in. You just pay money and you're able to go in.
Oh, okay. That's interesting though. Wow.
Nice.
Oh, and I gotta address like because Kate, I saw your responses to Santi. I'm actually gonna say, so he's going up to Scotland. If that's correct.
Yeah, he said Glasgow, so that's Scotland.
Oh,
yeah.
That's where Lois lives. I was gonna say Lois lives not too far from Glasgow, and what was it? Scottish folk. They're not freaks, but I will say this. To be fair, on this, as of right now, Santi, be careful what you're wishing for, because I got 2 Scottish investigators. You're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about, Kate. Lois and Scott, who always argue over me a lot of times.
Yeah, cool.
It's entertaining to watch.
So, what do you guys think? Should there be a sequel to Abigail?
Yeah,
or
I think so.
Or should this be a standalone film?
I'll let you know after I've seen it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. I was about to say, Robert. Yeah, definitely watch the first one. It's
I
really
will.
good. It's like it's better than I had expected. Like I knew this was going to be unique,
Oh,
I
but
think I've seen it all. It
maybe
looks
they
like
could do.
Camino up there.
Maybe they could do like
Sorry
Abigail's
about that.
sister.
I was going to say, I don't know how much further they can go for a sequel. Although,
Yeah.
however,
Mm.
I do see them maybe making a prequel, like maybe showing like when Abigail first got turned, like when she was still human, because
like a
she
prequel.
existed for 400 years. Why not do a prequel
Yeah,
film
that's
to show like what
true.
she was
Yeah,
before she became a vampire?
Maybe
that would be cool.
Dracula Untold. Yeah, I was looking at this comment. Like, could her father be the Dracula from Dracula Untold?
I wouldn't say that. I believe maybe he could be Dracula, but I don't know if he'd be from Dracula's Untold.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, which Dracula? It's definitely not going to be Nicolas Cage Dracula. It's not going to
No.
There's like 200 movies with Dracula in it.
Yeah,
now.
there's so many different versions of Dracula. It's insane.
And Nosferatu was originally supposed to be called Dracula, but they had to change it because that was an unauthorized movie, and Bram Stoker's widow did not approve of it, so they had to change the name to Nosferatu instead of Dracula.
Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Yeah. Which I don't know if you guys know. 2 years ago, I was at the I bring this event up. I was at the Michigan Paracon, which I'm actually going to, I'm confirmed now. I'm going to be heading back there later this year. I don't know if he's going to be there this year, but 2 years ago he was. They interviewed they had the grandson or great grandson of Bram Stoker. He was at the Michigan Paracon. He was there, so I was able to hear from a descendant of Bram Stoker his story of Dracula. You know, like the legacy that's followed. He was really interesting in what he talked about.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and yes, I'm aware that there's going to be another new Nosferatu. I did do a reaction video to the trailer.
I actually
Bill Skarsgård playing Nosferatu.
I want to also actually get to a comment where Braxton said, that's the oldest film he's seen by far, Nosferatu. Well, I actually kind of have a little treat for you guys, as a matter of fact. You guys, Don, do you mind if you could spare me 3 minutes for something that I want to show involving vampires?
Sure.
Well, Braxton, that's about to change because it's not copyright as far as I know, because first off, this is an extremely old film. It's only 3.5 minutes. But there's everybody always thinks when it comes to Nosferatu, it's the very first vampire film. That's not actually the case. There was a movie that was called The Devil's Castle. And not only this was the very first vampire movie, but here's the other thing. It was also the very first horror movie ever made. And this came out in 1896. It was made in France. And well, I'm gonna share the screen. But I got that film right here on YouTube. So are you guys ready to see the oldest horror film that exists?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Bring
it.
Obviously, it's silent, so, we could talk throughout it. So, because, again, this was during the early days of the silent era.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Here. So, yeah, sound won't matter. So,
I just want to say I don't get Billy's comment because I don't know what the Dark Universe is.
It was Universal's attempt at making a kind of their horror MCU with classic Universal monsters.
Okay.
Their attempt with that was The Mummy, which flopped.
Oh, okay.
You guys ready for this?
Yep.
Here we go. Oh, I didn't realize there was sound. Okay, so I'll just have it muted. It's fine. Okay, here we go. And the effects obviously, look cheesy, like compared to today, but this was the best effect they had. Look at that.
Wow.
That's supposed to be.
Yeah, this is a first for the show here. This is the first time we ever had a silent film on here, and now the oldest horror film.
Yeah, that's cool.
Amazing.
This is what Nick does on his day off. He makes potions.
Yep, he's Harry Potter when he's not working.
Yeah, they used all the ideas they could think of at the time to make this. I think this was directed by George Méliès. And yeah,
Did
this
you
was
put that lady in the Bottom Secrets? Yeah.
And even with the cuts, like where everything like just disappears quickly. I mean, that's quite incredible for what they had in those days.
Definitely.
And Charles, I'll answer your question after this is done.
See if there's anything about.
And poke me in the butt. Where'd he go?
Oh my god.
Again, it looks silly. It looks silly to now, but back then this was incredible. This was like huge back in the day.
The early years of filmmaking.
Yep.
Oh, the bench keeps moving.
Yeah, it does. Oh, skeleton.
Oh, there we go.
I've been waiting here so
no,
long.
he turned to a bat now.
He's like, skeleton turns to bats. He's like, I didn't sign up for this. And he just runs off.
That's actually supposed to be the devil, but he's also he's part vampire too.
Don't you know who I am? I'm Batman.
Oh, ghosts. Now we got ghosts.
Oh man. Wow.
Almost better effects than
Yeah. Hey, no CGI.
Can I just say, still better acting than Nicolas Cage.
Uh-oh, another ghost in disguise.
There we go. Oh, more ghosts.
Broomstick.
Yeah.
Ghosts with brooms.
I don't know.
See, they can
Actually,
sleep.
I'm not sure if they're ghosts or if they're witches. I think
Witch is ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This film, okay, so here while this is playing, this film was presumed lost originally until 1988 when a copy was found in the New Zealand Film Archive, actually.
Okay.
Wow.
So now it's preserved.
Satan's back. Oh, yes. Sign of the cross.
Nice.
That was really cool, wasn't it, guys?
That was really cool. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, so Braxton, now I've changed it for you.
Devil's Reign.
Actually, okay, so it even says here, I looked at more of it. At the time when it was discovered, it was literally, again, like the only known copy of it. In fact, before it was discovered, they said the only known copy of this film was bought at a junkyard originally in the 1930s to 40s in Christchurch, New Zealand, but not recognized until 1985 and then not released until 1988. So just a few years before the film's 100th anniversary.
Wow.
Impressive.
I'm surprised it stayed in such good nick.
Yeah. But yeah, it was the reception of it. Oh, actually, here, and this actually has something to do with Universal Monsters. In the book Universal Monsters Origins, Christopher Ripley writes, if Méliès was shooting for terror, he fell short of the mark. Initially, the film was amusing to its audience when it was first released, rather than terror-inducing. What was also notable about the film was Méliès' use of cinematography to morph characters into other characters. Though technology did not exist to create such visuals, Méliès used limited tools in his imagination to create a relatively impressive production.
Nice.
Oh.
Cool.
That's awesome.
And the funny thing is, I'm looking at more, unlike nowadays, like when we make movies or like what we have done for over the last 100 or so years, it says here, in Méliès' era, film actors were more or less performed anonymously and no credits were provided. So basically, a lot of the people that you saw in that movie were pretty much unknown to everybody.
Yeah.
There was no famous, there was no famous status. There was no actors that made their debuts that went on to, be in this film or, got involved. These were just unknown actors, although George Méliès, who made a lot of films throughout the 1890s and early 1900s, in addition to that film, his most notorious film, however, was not a horror film, but his most notorious film was in 1902 with the movie A Trip to the Moon, with the rocket going to the moon's eye.
I remember that.
Yeah, this was directed by the same guy.
All right. Yeah. So to answer Charles's question about are there any Aboriginals that do, I think it was ghost type stuff. Yeah, let me have a look. Where was it? Yeah, do Aboriginals have any spots to investigate? Yeah, there are some. You have to really sort of get to know where the Aboriginals are, who they are, what their culture is, and if you're allowed on their land, because they have, similar to what the Indians have, American Indians have over there. The Aboriginals have their own separate land masses that are deemed just for them. There's an area up in the far north where we think there's a whole heap of gold on their land because the area's scattered with gold all over that part of the world. And they have this one big block of land right on it. I don't know if that would be one of them or not, but you can't go on it. But down in New South Wales, there's a place called Nimbin, and that has a few places that you could investigate. You just got to ask the locals there, and don't be surprised if people come up to you and ask if you want to have a smoke, like of marijuana, because that's the the capital of that sort of thing down there.
Yeah,
but yeah. We actually got to spend time in a place called the Rocks, and that's a sacred area for them. And because we got to know a couple of the Aboriginals there at Nimbin, and they said, "Oh, you've got no place to stay. Well, come out to our place and pitch a tent," because we had a tent at the time, so we did. Yeah, it was really good.
Just want to also get to this quickly. That's really cool, though, Robert. Dude, just showed me something new and hell interesting. An 1896 horror film. Yep, this is where basically this is where it all began. And actually, I wanted to throw one more note involved in this film. Although most of the movie actors I said were performed anonymously, I just found this out. It is known, however, that there was a woman named Jihan Dialsi. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right because it's a French name. She was a successful stage actress who appeared in many of Méliès' films and actually became his mistress and later his second wife. Although they didn't. Funny part is this was back in 1896, but it was like almost 30 years before they eventually got married. They didn't get married until 1925. And and to give you an idea of who exactly it was, which character she played. She was the woman who comes out of the cauldron. Yeah, she's the one who came, and she lived for almost 100 years. She was born back in 1865 and lived till 1956. So she was able to see basically half of the film industry come together, by the 1950s. She was 91 years old when she died. George Méliès, on the other hand, though, didn't live as long. He died in 1938. And he was how old was he? He died in 1938. He was 76 years old.
Yeah. And Braxton, you're absolutely correct. Yeah, there was that Vlad the Impaler who inspired Dracula.
We have a investigator friend of ours named Tim, and he really knows this story about Vlad the Impaler. If he was on right now, he would be talking about it for hours on end. He has done his research on Vlad the Impaler and what he's told me. He's told me stuff even I didn't know about him.
Sorry, guys, I have to go now.
We're about
to wrap up.
We're about to wrap up now. So,
all right.
Yeah. So, if you guys haven't seen Abigail, definitely check it out. It's definitely. I love this more than Renfield. It's one of the best modern vampire movies. I absolutely enjoy it. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in and for this edition of the FearFans podcast. Be sure to tune in next week, and we will be covering the Blair Witch Project.
Yay.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys so much.
Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Bye.